you are listening to
the Wrestlemania podcast.
the Wrestlemania podcast.
What's up, wrestling fans? It is Thursday night. We're coming to you live on Facebook.com/WrestleGettingPod and over on YouTube.com/For the Collection. It is Wrestlemania weekend, officially kicking off today. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of Mattel action figure reveals for the figure collectors out there. I'm pretty hyped for a lot of that stuff. Finally getting our first ever Mr. Fuji action figure. Pretty psyched for that. The man has never had an action figure. Crazy to me. We got some live stuff going on. We've got night 2 of NXT, or not NXT, AEW's spring break special for Collision. Spring Breakthrough, that's on tonight. We got TNA's Unbreakable is live tonight as well. Then tomorrow kicks off the WrestleMania edition of SmackDown. But of course, I'm Chris Heat Matthews. He's the Tennessee Jesus, Carl Carlson. Carl, how the hell are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well.
That's good. That's good. Ready for this weekend?
Yeah. Ready for this weekend. It's WrestleMania weekend.
You know, make it so much better.
What?
Some chicken wing dip.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I might make some. Thinking about it.
It's, my birthday weekend.
Oh, it's your birthday weekend?
Nice. Yeah. My birthday's on Sunday.
Oh, awesome.
So Easter Sunday, WrestleMania. Oh,
well,
good.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Hopefully the Easter Bunny brings you a good birthday present.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome stuff.
My last year of my 30s.
Oh,
39.
Man. I remember those.
Yeah.
Remember those. It's 3 years ago. You turn 40, it starts going downhill. It's like everything's
be halfway there, right?
Yeah, but now you gotta, when you turn 40, you have to decide if you're gonna be a Civil War buff or a World War II buff.
Oh, okay. Can't be a wrestling buff.
From what I'm told, that's mandatory. That and Skechers.
Skechers. Or what about I already wear New Balance. They can't still wear those. The New Balance.
I think New Balance is up there too. New Balance and Skechers. I think it's actually New Balance. Yeah, it's New Balance.
I think the New Balance I have to get I can't wear like any other color but like the white with the blue logo.
Oh, awesome.
Those men's shoes.
Oh man. All right. We got a lot to get to tonight. We're gonna break down WrestleMania. We're gonna talk about that. That's pretty much all that's on tap for tonight, is just the everything going into WrestleMania weekend. Of course, WrestleMania both nights, NXT Stand and Deliver. We'll probably circle back. I do want to talk a little bit about the first night of Spring Breakthrough on Dynamite. I think there's some pretty good matches on there that I want to highlight tonight too. And of course, our normal stuff, Random Band, which we'll get to here in a second, the Elite Figure of the Week, and the Fatal 4-Way, as well as No Holds Barred. So let's kick it off like we always do, and that's the Random Band entrance theme. Oh yeah, you're talking about old. Being old men, we've got some really old men here now. Motley Crue was the Random Band entrance theme this week. All right, Carl, what'd you pick?
It's one of those things like nobody has what Motley Crue as like a theme song, do they? Because like some of these
Oh,
I heard and I'm like, man, this shit would be like a good theme song.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go with Loudwire for mine.
Okay, nice. Nice. I went with Knock 'em Dead, kid.
Knock 'em Dead Kid. I was starting to go with Wild Side. It was like between Wild Side and what Livewire, but I decided to go with Livewire.
Nice. Awesome stuff. Motley Crue, one of the essential hair metal bands.
Yeah, I think like them and Guns N' Roses was probably like the two biggest bands in the '80s, like hair metal.
The two
I
that
don't know,
had the
maybe
most, I think the two that had like the most staying power.
I
Because
guess
you don't
Def
really,
Leppard and Poison would be like up there with them, maybe.
yeah. I don't count Aerosmith because they were way before the hair metal
Yeah, they were
craze.
kind of they were kind of 70,
Yeah. Bon
70s.
Jovi. I throw Bon Jovi in there.
Yeah, but he only had like two big songs, like Motley Crue and uh Guns N' Roses. Like they had like a couple of like big bang. You know what I mean? Like they had like a couple because
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi, like besides Living on a Prayer and
Well, most of
Dead or
that,
Alive, like
most of
I
the
can't
Young
think of
Guns
anything.
soundtrack on Jovi. It's like Prince and the Batman soundtrack.
Who's Blaze of Glory? Is that Bon
Bon
Jovi?
Jovi.
Yeah, or maybe three songs.
Shot Through the Heart. Or was it Bad News?
Yeah,
You would love the bad name.
you gave us a bad.
But I feel like Guns N'
Yeah.
Roses, like they did start in that like 80s hair metal. I think with Appetite for Destruction, but I think they really hit their stride with in the 90s, early 90s with Use Your Illusion.
Okay. Yeah, but even in the early '90s, they still like kind of had the hair metal
Yeah.
gimmick, like they didn't.
Yeah, because Motley Crue was still putting out music and Poison and Rat and all those guys. And who's
Metallica,
the other one? Panther.
Metallica, but they wasn't hair metal. They were just like metal.
Metallica was just metal. Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't really
but
have
they
any
had
like,
like a run. They had a run in the '80s and '90s though. Like they had like some big songs in the '80s, and then they had.
kind of I kind of feel like to be hair metal, you had to have some kind of power rock ballad. Pretty much majority of those bands did. Cool. All right, who we got for
I don't
next week?
know. Enter the Sandman wasn't powered rock ballad.
No, it's nothing like every rose has its thorn.
Yeah.
All right, what band we got for next week?
Next week we have the Big Timers.
The Big Timers.
Mm-hmm. Birdman and Manny Fresh.
Oh, okay.
Gator boots for the pimped out Gucci suit. Ain't got no job,
I kind of remember that.
but I stay fly. Or everybody get your roll on. Everybody get your motherfucking roll on. What?
Oh, awesome. I can't say I remember those that well, but we'll give it a go. Let's see what we can find. All right, let's hop over to instant replay. All right. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Right button. All right, let's get into it, man. I got a little bit of news that coincides with this weekend. Kamala, Dory Funk Sr., and Ivan Koloff were announced as part of the legacy inductees into the Hall of Fame this weekend. So that's some pretty big news there, especially for Kamala. Well, actually, all three of them. All three of them are well deserving of a Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, Kamala, I think you're definitely. I remember like people being scared of Kamala when he was like more of like a monster type thing
Freaked me
before he
out.
became, huh?
So he freaked me out a little bit.
Back when the world was racist and you could have like a weird African character. Like what?
It was okay to be racist then. Well, not okay, but
But yeah, I guess we lived through it.
what else we got here? Apparently, rumors are that Mariah May was not planning on re-signing her AEW contract, but she still has. I don't know what's going on because we go through this every time a talent is off TV for a certain amount of time with AEW. That all of a sudden, like their contracts coming up, and then they're going to WWE. And most of the stuff is coming. It's all freaking like Dave Meltzer and all these other tools that keep putting this stuff out, and it's just So, but Mariah May actually has a quite a bit of time left on her contract, so she's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she could, you know, get the kiss of death or whatever, replace off TV
Yeah,
forever until they do something on WWE, TNA.
yeah. I would love to see her jump to WWE because I think there's a lot of potential there for some great matches. But I don't think she's done in AEW. I think there's still more for her to do.
Yeah.
Speaking of more departures, Jeff Cobb, the former Matanza Cueto and Lucha Underground, has finishing up with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and apparently is coming to WWE.
Okay. I wonder if he's going to
I think we might have
NXT, if
talked
he's
about
going
that
straight
before.
to the main roster.
I can see them putting him on NXT
Yeah, I mean, if
for a
they
little
put
bit,
Jordan
and then
Grace
maybe
on NXT, they probably put him on NXT.
yeah.
That was kind of weird for
Just
me,
think it's one of
like
those things.
Jordan Grace, because to me she was kind of like an established name, like
Yeah,
AJ Styles was. You know what I mean? But uh, the only thing I could think of is maybe because they had Jade Cargill, they didn't want to add like another powerhouse, like new person, so they decided to put her
yeah,
on NXT. I don't know, but to me, like she don't really need any kind of development.
yeah. I think I agree with you on that one too. It's probably more just to get her acclimated to like the WWE production style and stuff like that because it is different than what TNA does. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody
but
really does
I
production
mean,
like
Jake,
WWE.
she was way better at production than Jake Cargill was. You know what I mean? Like Jake Cargill
Yeah,
went straight to the main roster.
that is true. I think Jade just
Not,
had more
not
hype.
so. It's not. I'm not trying to throw shade at Jake Cargill or nothing.
No,
Like, don't get me wrong.
no, I totally.
Just the level of Jordan Grace is right now better than Jake Cargill.
Yeah, I just think it's because Jade had so much hype built up around her.
Yeah,
Because she was really like she was the first one after Cody to jump. And there's like so much hype built up around that and built up around her going to WWE that I think that's why they just threw her right onto the main roster without having her go through NXT.
yeah. Speaking of replay, do you have WWE? Are you subscribed to them on YouTube?
Yeah,
Did you see the 50 greatest Wrestlemania matches?
I did not.
Who in the fuck came up with that list? I mean, they had the like full matches uh, on their YouTube. I think they started like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure, but I've been watching them, and I've been pissed off like the whole time. You know me. I'm like, what in the fuck? Some of the the biggest controversy for me was number. Let me see what number it was. Number 21, right? So this is like the 40th best WrestleManias of like matches of all time. 21, they had Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. Like that would have been the best match like on that card. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, like I wouldn't even classify that as a match. Like moment, yes. Match, no. Like, ugh.
and I just feel like some of this stuff. I think like like I don't know if like fans voted on this. Like I don't know like where the list came from. But to me, it was like more like there's like a lot more like nostalgia stuff than there was like oh that's actually like a great match. Like the Sting, I forgot which one that was. I think it was made. Um, like to me, that wouldn't have made my top 50. Like don't get me wrong, like Sting has never been my favorite wrestler, but if you have Sting in your greatest WrestleMania moments, it's this. You watching Sting because that was like the only WrestleMania match he had. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I can't remember what
How?
number it was.
Okay. How did
But guess what number?
Savage and
Guess what?
Steamboat not make this list at all?
They made the list. They were number 4.
They're number 4. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I must have looked right over it. So I was gonna be pissed because that should have been
number
on
one.
there.
Number
The first one I
number
saw
one.
was Savage and Ultimate Warrior. So I was specifically looking for Savage and Steamboat. You know,
Yeah,
I was like, "There's no way this is on here," and Savage and Steamboat isn't.
yeah. Number one was Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. Uh, I mean they made the list twice, but uh, yeah, that's not the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Maybe like the
No,
coolest entrances or something, but it wasn't the greatest WrestleMania match of all time.
it's kind of
Number 2, you could argue being number 1, like Stone Cold, Bret Hart, because it kind of
such a great match
solidified.
compared to Undertaker Michaels. Like Undertaker Michaels was a great matchup. Like that was a good match, but it's not stuff that we haven't seen before out of the two of them. This Austin and Brett match was amazing.
Yeah. Uh, then you had Rock versus Hogan, which to me, probably personally, wouldn't be my top 5, but I understand why it was in the top 5. You know what I mean? Like, I get
Yeah.
that. It was a pretty iconic match. You had Savage Steamboat at 4. Uh, 5, you had Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. 6 was Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I think the first time. There's no way that's number 6 out of top top 50 matches.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like I don't know who came up with the list. Like I said, like I don't know, like if like fans voted or if Triple H came up with the list because he was
I
like
yeah. It's
on
kind
that
of dumb.
quite a bit. But
I would have put the TLC match above that Roman and Cody match.
yeah, for sure. I would have put Ultimate Warrior Macho Man match.
Yeah.
I would have put Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels for the ladder match. You know what I mean? Like there's
How is that
tons
number
of matches.
12? That should have been way higher up that list. That should have been like top 5.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Angle versus Brock, that should have been higher.
And yeah, Angle versus Brock should have been a little higher. Undertaker versus Triple H. At Hell in a Cell, it was okay, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think by that point I was already tired of the streak and wanted it to end anyways, because that's making too big of a deal out of it. Uh, Sasha Banks, Bianca. I mean, that was a good match. It was better
It
than some of
was.
the ones that were up there.
What's this one?
Um,
What's trying to just see. Undertaker versus CM Punk at 23.
yeah, that was to me out of the Taker streak matches. That was a better match than
That's
like the other two that made the list.
like I'm
Better than
not
that.
like I know it may sound biased for me because I'm a big CM Punk fan, but that's like one of my favorite Undertaker matches. One of my favorite Mania Undertaker matches is that one. Like
Yeah.
it gets so much shit. Like a lot of people talk shit about that match, but it was actually a really good match between the two of them.
Hmm.
There's a lot of stuff on this.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I said, there's not really any rhyme or reason to a lot of this. We don't know who did what, how these were voted on, but Ric Flair versus Savage, like I'm not the biggest Ric Flair guy, but that match definitely should be a little more up there compared to some of these other ones.
Yeah. Uh, the Eddie Guerrero Kurt Angle match. That was another one that to me should have been like way like
Yeah,
at least top 15. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Cena versus Michaels. Yeah. Goldberg and Lesnar shouldn't even be on this
Yeah, that
thing at
shouldn't.
all. That should have been like
That shouldn't have made
51.
the.
So
That would to me that would have been 51. That would have been like way.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
the thing. Like
that's like I said, the Sting match it made 49, right? Like that wouldn't make
yeah,
like to me the only reason why this made the list was because that was Sting's only WrestleMania match. You know what I mean?
yep.
And it's for Sting fan. Like that match was not good at all. Unless you're like a huge DX fan or a huge NWO fan. Like I remember like NWO coming out and I was like, that would make sense for them to be out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless like fake Sting came out and interfered.
Oh man, I think Rollins and Cody should be up higher. Like, how did that end
Yeah,
at 50? That was way better than Rollins or Cody and Roman, the first Cody and Roman
yeah,
match.
yeah, for sure.
It's kind of
The Rock versus John Cena to me, like I don't know how it made it either. I guess like the concert before was cool or something.
yeah.
That's the one where they had like Machine Gun Kelly and who the Rock had somebody come out for him. I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember either.
He
All I
had
know,
like
I'm
an
still
artist
looking at
though.
this Goldberg Lesnar match, and I keep remembering because I remember watching it live, and you could just tell that those two guys did not give a shit at all. They're just out there to finish it up and collect their
I
contract.
think did we watch it? Did we watch that together? Can't even remember.
No, I was in New York.
I don't think so. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think so.
Yeah, because that was
What was it?
I don't even remember.
It's not something goes that far ago though. Uh, the Goldberg Lesnar. Maybe it was.
WrestleMania 33.
2013 or something. 12, 11.
This is Roman versus Undertaker.
Yeah, but I remember the Goldberg match. I wasn't a huge fan of, anyways.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of The one I'm thinking of is WrestleMania 20. So they put their second match on there. The one that's on that countdown is the one from WrestleMania 33.
Okay, and that was like 2013.
I think so.
Yeah, I'll say we watched that at Garrett's, right?
Might have.
Sounds about right. Because I remember us like being disappointed that
2017.
yeah, so we probably watched it together. Because I remember none of
Yeah.
us being excited about the match. Uh, which at that time not like any Brock Lesnar or Goldberg match because like it was just overplayed by that point.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason I was thinking about their first matchup. I forgot they wrestled twice at Mania.
Yeah,
So that first matchup they didn't give a that's right. Because they built it up like they haven't wrestled before. They haven't fought each other before
yeah,
for 33. And like, yeah, they wrestled at WrestleMania 20.
yeah.
Oh. Ah, so stupid. So, all right.
How do you stand
I'm
on
gonna
side quest?
yeah. So I'm gonna skip over to it's technically it's before, but we'll go back to last night's AEW Dynamite. A couple
Hmm.
things I want to get some praise to. First off, they kicked off the show with Mercedes Moné and Athena for the
Mm,
the semifinals of that. That has got to be the best Mercedes Moné match since her start in AEW. Like I cannot sit here and go look back at her catalog of matches for AEW and find one that's better than this one.
I haven't seen it. Uh,
Oh, it was great. It was a
but I
real
can
great
believe.
match.
I can believe it. She's had like a lot of really. Well, I don't want to say really. I'm gonna take the really out of it. She's had some good matches in AEW. But she hasn't had like anything that was like anything close to what she did in WWE.
Yeah, this is probably like the closest um to something she's done in WWE as far as like match wise goes, and it's probably because it's Athena.
Yeah.
But the finish I thought was great. Um, Athena pretty much had it in the bag. She went for the O face, and Mercedes was able to block it. Like she caught her
Hmm.
coming down, so she wasn't able to actually go all the way down with that stunner. Then got her with a roll up, which I thought was a great way to end that matchup because it still leaves it open um, to explore that more between Athena and Mercedes. Athena can come back like,
Yeah.
you got lucky in that matchup. You were that close. I was this close to getting the win on that. But I thought it was really good, and that's speaks volumes for me right now since I've been kind of dogging Mercedes since she came to AEW, not having
Yeah.
anything memorable or any good feuds or anything. So
Yeah. So, like I said, she's had good matches. It's just one, there was like never any match to where you thought like she could lose.
yeah,
Uh, since she's been there, and that's been the big problem is they haven't had her versus an opponent where you're like, oh yeah, like they could put her, but maybe they're saving it for her and Tony Storm or something like that.
yeah. I think she's gonna end up winning this Owen Hart Cup tournament and going on to take on Tony Storm at All In or All Out, whichever one is All In, All Out,
I don't
one
know.
of the two.
I think it's
I think
one
it's
of them.
All In first, and then All Out after that.
Something to do with poker.
Yeah.
All in, all out.
So I think it'll end up being her winning. I think the next matchup is Statlander. Oh crap! Who the hell else was the other? I can't remember who the other person was. It was Statlander and had it on the tip of my tongue. No,
I like Tony Storm's like breakdown of the Owen Hart Cup. I think it was the week before last.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Tony's awesome. Like this, she's
Yeah.
probably got to be like the biggest. I think her and Swerve have probably been like the biggest impacts coming over from WWE. Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, Tony Storm. I don't know right now. She's probably a little bit more relevant than Swerve because they keep letting Swerve lose, so
Yeah.
Moxley and stuff. But
So be Mercedes will take on the winner of Jamie Hayter and Statlander, which is supposed to be it's on Dynamite next week. So the finals for this one are double or nothing, and then I'm assuming the winner will go on to face Tony Storm at All In. So men's matchup they had on there, Ospreay and Takeshita was actually pretty good as well. They kind of stepped it up. It's I kind of had mixed feelings on this one. Like it wasn't a bad match, but it's kind of like they did step it up a little bit from the last couple matches that they had.
It's like what, 3 or 4?
This is like I think the third one in AEW. But Ospreay picked up the win on that one, so he'll take on the winner of Kyle Fletcher, and Hangman Adam Page, who defeated the wild card entrant, which was the debuting Josh Alexander. So the walking weapon is debut. All Elite. Yeah. But the surprising thing with this is that he's aligned with the Callis family.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, all right, that's cool. Don Callis did say a couple weeks ago that he is actively recruiting to expand the Callis family. I like it. It's really brings me back to like the Hart Foundation. Not like, Brett and, those 4 Hart Foundation, but Jimmy Hart and all them and the Heenan family, where you got, the one manager representing like 6 different talents. So, and
yeah,
it's kind of fitting because Callis is one of those old school guys anyway. So, well, I'm pretty psyched for that. Let's see where that goes. Like I said, you got Kyle Fletcher taking on Hangman Page. I think we're gonna see Ospreay and Fletcher go at it again for the finals for this own Heart Cup tournament for the men's side, with probably Ospreay picking up the win.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool stuff. We
see that happening for sure.
We got new trios tag team champions as the Ops defeated the Death Riders with a little outside help from like Willow and a couple other people, Tomohiro Ishii and someone else. But Hook suffered a concussion last week. This is something we're going to talk about. Yeah, to the point where he's throwing up in the ring.
Yeah.
And Cesaro was still setting up the next spot instead of, like, I don't know why. Like, the second he threw up in the ring, why wasn't anybody, like, making sure he was okay?
I mean, there's people that throw up in the ring all the time. And wrestling's not like here recently, but back when, it was wrestling 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And you had the alcoholics and stuff like that didn't eat and drink the best foods before or after matches. So.
No, I mean, it wasn't caused by a concussion though.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like throwing up was kind of like a normal occurrence, like back in the day. So like I could see where like somebody throwing up, they could be like, "Well, let's keep going." But that I don't know, kind of looked kind of blatant, but I don't know.
Yeah. I, but because of that, Hook was out of the trios match, and they replaced him with Will Hobbs. So the Ops and Hobbs are the new trios champions.
But
And, Samoa Joe choked out Moxley for the finish of that match. So.
I mean, to me, that's what they should do with Hook. Like, once you see him throwing up, like, put a sharpshooter or something on him and call them out. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of stuff he could have did. Like, besides attempt, like, me, you shouldn't attempt any more potential head injuries after somebody throws up.
Yeah, or at least try to maybe direct them to the corner to tag out so the docs could, the ringside doctor could check on them and stuff. So, but I don't know. It kind of makes it laughable when AEW goes out and says, we're one of the safest wrestling organizations.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they've had a bunch of scary stuff. A lot of them with hitting. Like, remember when Matt Hardy did the fall off the lift or whatever?
Yeah. I know Reeve was pissed about that.
Yeah.
We actually got a question here from one of our YouTube watchers. JST Zach wants to know, what do we think Roman Reigns will do after Mania, and what direction would we like to see him on?
This would be a good question for Chris because you don't want to probably hear my answer. I'd probably be like, retire. No. All serious, in all serious note, I think if you do give Jay the win over Gunther, I think Roman would be a good first opponent for him. And you could set it up as like, Roman kind of jealous that he's not champion. Would be me, like what I would do if I was Triple H and I ran the storyline is I think if because if you give him if you give Jay the belt, I think him getting a win over Roman would kind of solidify him as like being like a real champion instead of like someone that got the title just to get it.
Honestly, I don't think we're gonna see Roman after Mania, depending on how it goes. We'll get into predictions a little bit later, but I'll give you a spoiler. I'm pulling for Punk in this one. But we'll see what they actually go through. But if that is the case and Roman ends up losing this matchup, I don't think we're gonna see him for a while, maybe till we start building up for SummerSlam, possibly. And that could be Roman Cena. If Cena wins the title off of Cody. So
if Cena wins the title off of Cody, I think Punk will probably definitely win. Like, there's no way you don't do Cena Punk for Cena's last match. But to be honest, like, I don't want Cena to win the title. To me, that'd be like worst case scenario. I don't know, for me, because I don't really care to see this match. Like, they better hope they don't put it on as the main event. 'Cause if it's the main event, then I'm probably gonna turn it off and wait till night 2 or whatever.
I think the triple threat is main eventing night 1.
Oh, I thought it was night 2 main event.
No, I think it's.
Ain't that what I thought? I thought that's what Paul Heyman told Punk when they were doing the like little thing where Punk cried.
Yeah, night 1. Match card for night 1 has Roman versus Punk versus Heyman, or Roman versus Punk versus Rollins as the main event. And night 2 is Cody versus Cena.
Oh well, fuck! I'm turning it off early then. Nobody wants to see that shit. It's just something Vince McMahon would do. I know everybody's like, "Oh, Vince would never turn Cena heel," and it's like, yeah, he would for his last fucking go around. And two, like, only Vince would fucking put him in the main event of WrestleMania, even though he hasn't had a relevant match in fucking 10 years.
Oh man, awesome. All right, well, now, since we're on that subject, let's get into it here with WrestleMania. We'll run down the match card here for night one. We'll break down some of
Let's
these.
do let's do picks instead of
Okay.
doing like a quick run. We'll also go. We'll talk about each match as we go.
All right, let me open up my let me get the Google Doc open here for the picks. I forgot to open
Boom,
that
boom,
one.
boom. Dun, dun.
There you are. All right, some good airtime here. Me opening a Google Doc page.
It's not bad since I kind of ruined your plan.
Ruined my plan.
Who's opening the show? AJ Styles and Logan Paul.
Um, according to, I don't know if this is like the exact order for some of these matches as far as like the undercard goes, but according to Wikipedia, night one is Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Gunther versus Jey Uso. No, I could see that.
Well, everybody's bitching because he's supposed to be, he won the Royal Rumble, so he should be main eventing WrestleMania. But my thing with this too is, like, you hear a lot of these guys say, like, the best places to be on the cards is either the first or the main event. First match or the main event. He's like, your first match is just as important as the main event because that's going to set the pace and the tone for the rest of the night.
I don't know. There's been a hell of a lot of good matches in the middle of the damn card, like
Yeah.
throughout my years of watching.
Well, yeah. I mean, you still got to have that like really good match in the middle too, which I think is going to be LA Knight and Jacob Fatu on night one. But
yeah, was it? It was like what, Roman and Bobby Lashley, or it was somebody one year that was like night one. Not it might have been when it was only one night. They opened the the pay-per-view,
yeah,
or it might have been SummerSlam. Can't remember. Might have been SummerSlam.
it could have been.
No,
All right, so
the the Drew McIntyre. Who did Drew? Was it Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and then Damian Priest cash in? That was SummerSlam, though, right?
yeah, I think that was SummerSlam.
I can't remember yet, but that was like a night one, like a 2 night event. I think it was like the opening match. All right, we ready?
Yeah. All right. Night one, we've got first match on the card. According to Wikipedia, I don't know if these are like correct order or not. Chances are probably not, aside from your main events. Gunther versus Jey Uso. I don't. I'm kind of.
This is actually picking up pace a little bit.
I'm kind of torn on this one because, like, I think the buildup between these two for Saturday night's main event has been better. Was better than the buildup for WrestleMania up until
last week,
the week before when Jimmy took on Gunther. Then we started adding.
Yeah.
Then they really added fuel to the fire on that one. So,
yeah.
But I think we see Jay pick up the win on this one.
I think you have to. If not, why are we even having this match?
Yeah. He's like, I wholeheartedly believe, and I said it during their match at Saturday night's main event, that Jay should have won the title then.
Yeah.
Then you could have had Gunther go in and win the Rumble, and then you could have got that. Could have got the reverse at Mania. So.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Next match here, the War Raiders versus the New Day. Really wasn't any build up for this matchup at all. It's just kind of like
Yeah, just like a random. I thought the whatchamacallit, I thought like there would be like a triple threat between Motor City Machine Guns, uh, and shit. Why's my mind going blank?
Was it Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits,
Street Profits, and
is it Legato or Deadly?
Like Pre-Dead. I don't know. I figured it'd just be like a triple threat match for that tag title.
I know.
We somehow.
I know there's a tag. They're doing a tag title match on SmackDown tomorrow night.
Oh, that's probably it then. And they just flipped it and put the New Day. But I think the reason why that's on the Mania is probably because the New Day is in it. And even though they are heel, they still have.
I mean, honestly, when's the last time? When's the last time the New Days had a Mania match to begin with? Because they weren't on the card last year.
It's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah.
It has. I think it's going to be a good match, regardless. I like the War Raiders. I like the New Day. So, like, they're not slouches in the ring, so it should be a pretty solid matchup. So.
Yeah, and it'd be something like the slide in between, like some of your big matches. It'd be like a perfect match to slide in between. Nice pace, change of pace.
It's kind of a tough one to pick, but I'm gonna take the War Raiders retaining.
Yeah, I see that. I see War Raiders retaining.
What's we got here? This should be a good one. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, the big American, who may or may not be Chad Gable. I really think it's Hulk Hogan.
I seen a meme this morning that was like Vince McMahon.
I saw that too.
Yeah, this match, I guess it's okay to me. Like this is more like to me should have been more like a pre-show.
It's Ray.
I don't know. I know it's for Mysterio, but I think he had like more of a build with like him and Penta than he had with Ray. But yeah, I mean this is Rey Mysterio getting his match, and I'm probably guarantee you that Rey Mysterio probably picks up the win unless they have some kind of new person debut.
Yeah, I'm going with Mysterio on this one too. I think he picks up the win. I think we see El Grande Americano get unmasked.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if they go El Grande Americano over Mysterio. Because they
maybe like Chavo,
put Dominic
maybe Chavo Guerrero comes out as what was his name, like Karen White or whatever.
White.
Yeah, Karen White. Takes Ray from behind.
Oh man, it'd be awesome. All right, we got ourselves a grudge match on night one. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I know a lot of people aren't looking forward to this one, but I'm one of those that is looking forward to this.
Who is not looking forward to this?
There's so many people bitching about Jade Cargill having a WrestleMania match and how she's terrible and all this other shit. I'm like, if Goldberg can have a WrestleMania match, multiple WrestleMania matches, then Jade
Yeah,
Cargill can have a WrestleMania match.
dude. If Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon uh, versus Triple H and old washed up Kurt Angle can be number 22 in the 50 greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. Naomi wrestling, this could be top five. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
don't
And
don't underestimate Naomi, and it's a good storyline. Like, it's like
it
this is the
is.
best storyline we've had in a long time for the women's division.
Yeah.
Because it's not evolving like some dude. You know what I mean? Like they're not fighting over a guy. Uh, you know what I mean? Like they're not hating on each other's looks or anything. It's a good you know what I mean? Like
It's a straight up like it's a jealousy angle. It's what it is. Like
yeah,
Naomi, this chick comes in and takes her spot as Bianca's friend, and Naomi gets pissed and jealous about it and decides to get rid of the problem. So,
yeah.
but unfortunately, the
I
problem
think
came back.
I think to me personally, I think Naomi should win this match.
I would love to see
And,
Naomi win this.
and if you want, like to me, I feel like you can get 2 to 3 more matches from this feud, especially like if Bianca wins the title. Um, and to me, it's like if we're gonna do a couple matches with this feud, like let Naomi win the first one, let her get her Mania moment. Because she did really good in TNA. You know what I mean? Like she can
Yeah,
carry the women's division if she had to. It just the WWE never gave her the opportunity really. Um, and she's been willing. She's jobbed for so many people. Like to me, just like give her flowers, let her get her victory. WrestleMania.
absolutely. Because when's the last time Naomi? The last time Naomi had a Mania win was in Orlando when she won the women's title.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a while ago.
And this has honestly been some of Naomi's best promo work in a long time. Like you can like tell that she's put a lot into this. Those just the last couple of weeks with her promos and stuff, and like the emotion. I know we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Like the emotion that Naomi put into those promos is what's you know for me is the selling point of this matchup and this feud.
Yeah,
Like, and that's the biggest thing. If you can invoke that kind of
yeah,
emotion and put that much into that storyline to try to draw people in, and it works. It worked. It
yeah.
drew me in. So
I rather see this. I rather see this than John Cena and Cody. And that's being honest. That's an honest opinion. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's not really much like with John Cena and Cody as far as like there's no real animosity between the two of them. It's not like Punk and Rollins or Punk and Cody. There's not really any
history.
history or anything like that between the two. Like they tried to they tried to pull it that way with like Cody, riding with Cena and stuff like that. Like they kind of tried to tap into that, but it's just not believable to me
Yeah,
that's they're trying to pull all that stuff into it. Whereas like you have Rollins and Punk going back and forth, and to me it sounds believable. The same thing
yeah.
with Cody and Rollins. It sounded believable because
And,
Rollins
and
Rollins can make you believe it, and Punk can make you believe it. So
yeah. And Dorky Cena is not a good heel.
no,
I just, he's not.
the only thing that's going to sell me on that matchup is if The Rock shows up. Like that's because it's
Even then, I heard through the grapevine that Stone Cold or maybe Undertaker could be involved again this year. Uh, I mean, yeah, the Rock and yeah, they're gonna pull some people into it, but still, it's like I don't like to me like all of John Cena's best matches kind of follow the same thing as like there's gonna be like 2 or 3 false finishes at the end,
Yeah.
and you get to watch him do the same 3 or 4 moves over and over again. I guess.
Oh man, I don't know. Kind of got a little way here from Cargill and Naomi. I think we're both picking Naomi for that one.
Yeah.
Next matchup on here for night 1, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I'm looking forward to this. I love LA Knight.
Yeah.
I love Jacob Fatu. I think these two are just going to beat the shit out of each other. And I'm hoping for a Jacob Fatu title run.
I don't think he gets it at this one.
Really?
I don't. I think there's gonna be interference in the match. And I'm thinking maybe Zilla or somebody interferes.
Solo interferes and inadvertently costs him the match.
Hmm.
Or intentionally.
Or intentionally interferes. Maybe they try to tell Jacob out of the bloodline. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, then we got the women's championship matchup. Tiffany Stratton defending against Charlotte Flair, the women's Royal Rumble winner.
I think
Charlotte
this is a
won the
potential
Rumble,
match of the night.
yeah, I was looking forward to this, and then like the promos were kind of meh, and then they got a little personal last week. Or 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago.
The promos are always good. Charlotte had like a couple good promos, and Tiffany kind of wasn't coming back that hard. But then the last promo, Tiffany kind of got under her skin a little bit.
Yeah.
People say it was off script. I don't think so. I think it was totally on script, and the script was to be off script with it.
I don't know, but they cut from replays and stuff all the personal stuff. With Charlotte being 0-3 in her marriages, they cut that from the replays.
Yeah,
So.
but the parking lot brawl. Did you see that on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still looking forward to the match. I think it's gonna be good. We're gonna get a really solid matchup.
It's gonna be good. I think they're gonna beat the hell out of each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just think that last promo, Charlotte got a little flustered, either with the crowd or with something that Tiffany had said. I don't know, but it just doesn't
She
seem like
didn't.
it was,
She didn't get flustered. So sometimes in wrestling, right, especially if you're a heel, and your opponent is cooking, you just let them cook and let them cook. You know what I mean? Like that was the best thing that happened. You know what I mean? Like that was the best thing that could have happened. And it's one of those things where Charlotte was like, I'll let her get the last words and let her cook. Yeah, that's what Tiffany did.
but should have tried to get her last word in. Is that why Kaiser?
Oh yeah, Kaiser in DMs. I could low key see Kaiser in her DMs.
Did you see the freaking memes after that? Ludwig Kaiser is the only man we know that's not in Charlotte Flair's DMs. Oh,
I mean, he likes muscular blondes.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure he doesn't like ones that if you put them next to a candle, they melt. But I don't know. But I'm going with Tiffany on this one.
Yeah, Tiffany's gonna retain. I just, like I said, I think it's gonna be a really good match.
All right. Then we got the main event for night 1. It was a triple threat match: Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman listed in CM Punk's corner. Kind of interesting to see what happens with that dynamic, with Heyman being involved in this matchup with pretty much everybody trying to get Heyman on their side. With Rollins being the last one standing on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. I don't know. I'm going with Punk on this, definitely. That's my pick. Not because of not 100% because of my bias towards CM Punk, but I don't
I'm
really
gonna go. I'm gonna go Seth Rollins.
All right. This has been a pretty good build-up for this matchup.
It has. It's one of those things where, to me, like it would have made more sense to have Drew McIntyre in it instead of Roman Reigns. Um,
Yeah.
but we've kind of been building up for this since last year.
Yeah. Roman really doesn't have well, they both kind of have some history with Punk, dating back with the Shield and stuff, because
Yeah,
Punk technically was the one responsible for bringing the Shield in.
yeah,
And then you have, the personal issues between Rollins and Punk, the personal issues between Rollins and Reigns, um, the personal relationships between Paul Heyman and Punk and Paul Heyman and Roman. So there's a lot going on in this matchup that's kind of played a pretty good part in this story, at least the build up for this
yeah,
matchup. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good main event
yeah.
for night one.
And it's
Honestly,
definitely
I'm
the
with
main.
you. I think this should be night two main event, but
Yeah, it's definitely the most anticipated match of the night.
yeah,
Of the whole. Well, I said the night. I meant the whole event. Like
yep.
maybe there's some Cody fans. Maybe there's some Jey Uso fans or something. But uh, I think if you ask anybody, this is probably the most anticipated match, and that's why it's a main event. Yeah. Did they screw up not having a title involved? Maybe. Yeah, but with these three guys, you don't really need a
You
title
don't need
involved.
a title. No, you just put Paul Heyman in a shark cage above the ring, and winner gets custody of Heyman. Just call it days. Oh man. All right. Night two. It looks like it's kicking off with the women's world championship triple threat match. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Oh man. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it's gonna be pretty solid. I would have rather preferred, Io versus Ripley or Io versus Bianca. But either way, I think it's gonna be pretty solid anyway. And I'm pulling for Io to retain that title.
I disagree uh, with both statements. Uh, I would have preferred this been Bianca Belair and Io Sky. Um, Rhea Ripley shouldn't have even been involved, and you could have saved Ripley for later on down the line. Um, to me, you gotta put the title on Bianca Belair, um, just because the Naomi J Cargill thing is the most relevant thing you have right now going on in the women's division, and her having the belt will add so much more to that storyline. So that when you do get Bianca versus Naomi and Bianca versus J Cargill, those matches mean so much more. Um, and we're talking about like months worth of good material. Um, where then, like, if Rhea wins, we gonna do her versus Liv Morgan again? Like,
Yeah. Well,
her last
the
run
thing
wasn't
with that
really that
too
good.
is the other thing with that too is like Bianca Bianca's not staying on Raw. Like, she's gonna go back to SmackDown.
Well, yeah, but they could do anything with the draft, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
The Io Sky, I just don't see. I mean, if she does retain, like, I just don't see what direction they're going to go with her. You know what I mean? Like, unless they split up damage control or something. Um, they're just, you know, who's the next person she's gonna verse? It's just like a thrown together scenario. Whereas then if you go with Bianca, like you have story already built in, ready to go. Which
Yeah, that's
I
kinda
think was
hard.
why she won the Elimination Chamber to begin with.
Yeah, and that's kind of hard to pull into like future storylines too, because we don't know what's gonna happen. Like the Raw after Mania, like who's gonna be potentially come up from NXT? Like, were there any other debuts of people that we don't know about? Um, so even if EO does win, like there is that potential of okay, so we're finally bringing Roxanne Perez up to the main roster permanently, and she's on Raw. So you get EO and Roxanne for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
they kind of bounce around from there, and then you can throw Liv Morgan back up there or push up somebody else. Like Lyra can move up into that spot too. She can drop the U.S. title to someone. So I mean, there's other avenues that are not U.S. title. She's got the Intercontinental title. Chelsea's U.S. So there are other avenues they can go. It's just hard to
To
say like
me,
which way they're going
to
to go.
me, like to me, when you had Jay Cargill interrupt the Elimination Chamber, and then you had Bianca win it, to me, it makes sense for Bianca to get the title. Uh, and then because Naomi was eliminated from the Elimination Chamber, she already has ties to the title. Uh, Jay Cargill could want revenge. Maybe Bianca was involved in it. There's so much more you can do with that story. To me, it's like it just doesn't make sense to kill it by having her in a random three-way match with two people that doesn't really matter at Mania if you're not gonna put the title on her.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm still going with EO though.
That's fine.
All right. Tag team match for the women's tag team championship. You've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending against Bailey and Lyra Valkyria.
I think they retain.
I'm going with that too. I think the bigger story here would be Lyra and Bailey for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, to me it's like two thrown together.
Yeah.
Like to like if you're gonna have Liv and Raquel like lose the tag titles, that's fine. But have it to like like a legit kind of tag team and not just something thrown together at the last minute.
Dr. Lawrence Jacoby on YouTube says this is the worst build since Mania 34.
Yeah, I mean I kind of would agree to that. Like especially like last year, we were way more excited for what was going on than we were this year.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't too excited about John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good. There on paper, there's some good matches on. Look like potential good matches on this card. It's just the build up for a lot of these has been kind of lackluster.
Yeah,
Like AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Like it's going to be a good match. Like regardless, because these two are going to deliver. It's just like the build up.
Logan Paul don't wrestle enough to build
3
up.
weeks. Yeah. So
that's the problem. Is like with a lot of these matches, is like you have people that hardly ever show up, and you get them in like marquee matches.
Yeah, so I don't really want to waste a lot of time on Styles and Logan Paul, but I'm going with Styles, which I know he's probably going to lose anyway. But yeah,
I say flip a coin, and I mean, I
you
don't
take
think
it on.
it. To me, it doesn't. Neither one of them need a win. Neither one of them are in any kind of like title hunt or
Yeah,
picture. It's kind of irrelevant. I'm gonna pick AJ Styles because he's probably one of my favorite wrestlers. So, even though he hasn't done anything relevant in a while, still like him.
um, yeah. The Fatal Four Way for the Intercontinental title. I know they haven't. The build up that hasn't been. Um, the build up hasn't been like too spectacular on this because I mean it's only been probably about the same amount of time as most of these other matches, but like the talent that's involved in this, I think is going to make this a great match to begin with Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn, and Dominic. But I think there's more to this than the actual match. Um, and I think we're going to get something between Finn and Dominic, where like, Finn goes to make the cover and Dominic pulls him off, or, vice versa, or Dom tries to pin Finn, like something like that. Um, like it, there's got to be something that's going to go on between the two of these because it's been simmering for a while between
Hmm.
pretty much the rest of the Judgment Day and Finn. They're excluding
Yeah.
JD because JD's always on Finn's side, so which I could be mistaken on that one too. Um, but as far as picking a winner for this one, I'm going with Dom. I'm taking Dirty Dom.
So
Dirty Dom's going to walk out of here as the Intercontinental Champion, and then feud with Finn,
yeah,
and then feud with Penta.
yeah. Uh, this is my advice to Dominic Mysterio. If Dominic Mysterio doesn't win this title, he needs to quit WWE. Uh, go to AEW, TNA, whatever you got to do, make a name for yourself, and come back when they want to do right by you. Because to me, like, what are you doing with? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing with this kid if you don't put the Intercontinental title on him?
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
that being said, like, I wouldn't be upset if Finn won. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be totally upset if any of these people
there's
win,
not
but
there's not a bad choice
Dom, I think,
in this matchup because all four of them are
yeah,
great talents. I mean, I can see him throwing the title on Penta like in this matchup. Penta can have a program with
yeah,
all
it's a
three of these
little,
guys. So
yeah, it's a little fast, but to me, I don't know. I think you got to put the title on Dirty Dom.
yeah, I think Penta's gonna. I think one of the two, either Penta or Phoenix, are gonna end up together on SmackDown or Raw, and then we'll get them. We'll get the Lucha Bros back in the tag division. Speaking of tag division, we got another question here from a YouTube viewer. CZV Wrestling wants our thoughts on SmackDown tag division not having a Mania match yet. We kind of talked about it a few
Yeah,
minutes
that's
ago. The tag match is actually on SmackDown tomorrow night. I don't think that's pretty much it. Um,
it
I think
would have
it
been a
messed
better
up.
Mania match.
Yeah, like we could have got a good ladder match out of that tag division right there. With the Machine Guns, Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, Legato. Um, like just those four teams alone, we could have got a good ladder match out of. So,
Yeah, and they barely done anything with the Raw tag division. That's
yeah,
like the only thing that don't really make sense. But like I said, I think it's because it's a new day, and they're still kind of marquee names. Is the reason why we have them wrestling instead of the SmackDown, but yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I think they should have had them involved. Uh, at least one of the matches. You could have cut AJ Styles and Logan Paul for this.
Yeah, I would have definitely taken that swap. Oh man, awesome stuff. Did we pick? Oh, we both picked Dirty Dom for that one. Then we got Damian
Yeah.
Priest and Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight. These guys got some history as far as like prior Judgment Day stuff from like last year. So you can kind of see it boil over into this. So there's something going on there, but it's it's not like it's going to be a bad match because these two guys are pretty solid. And it's a street fight. Everyone loves a street fight. So
What's a Sin City street fight? Is that like hookers and
hookers and
what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Somebody hit with a big giant poker chip.
That's not AEW. Come on. Oh man. So it's you're gonna have some blow, some hookers. It's an 8-ball on a pole match.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of torn on this one. Like, I don't think either one's a bad choice for this, but I'm gonna go with McIntyre.
Yeah, that's me too. And I give him the same advice I gave Dominic Mysterio. If you don't win this, quit.
Quit again. Go back to TNA.
Go back to TNA. Yeah. Or go to AW and start a feud with Lashley.
Oh man. And your least anticipated match of the evening for night 2, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. I'm going with Cena. I think you are.
I'm going with Cody.
So.
Yeah, fuck Cena. Like, he does not deserve the title. Like, he don't even really deserve to be in the main event. Like I said, he hasn't had a relevant match in fucking 10, 15 years. I mean, I know that every once in a while he'll show up for a WrestleMania or SummerSlam and have some kind of like goofed up ball match, but he's not a good heel. They had one good like promo back and forth, but that's to me that's not enough to get me invested in this. Like, I'm sorry. You know, like I would much rather, and it's like nobody else got this treatment. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we didn't fucking throw the world title on fucking Hulk Hogan and like on his last match, or Ric Flair on his last match, or you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like it's not good. I understand where Triple H is probably coming from. They're kind of seeing it as like a money thing. A lot of people know who John Cena is. They're wanting to get a lot of new viewers, but it's one of those things where you're gonna kill your fan base doing it.
Yeah. I just kind of feel like if they don't put the title on Cena, like, what are they really doing with him?
He could have some more matches, like his retirement tour. It just be like anything else, where you know he can beat anybody else he wants to. You can't have him beat the damn champion and be champion, fucking, because he's not good.
Well, I don't know.
And the only thing that did make him good for so long was that he was face and he did all the cartoony five knuckle shuffle, pump up my fucking kicks, stupid bullshit. But if he's not doing that, then he's not even being relevant. You know what I mean? Like, he's not. See his heel work? Did you like it? But you're like, oh, I'm mesmerized. He's so badass. It's like, no, dude. He's came out and like, I hate the crowd.
Yeah, no, I get it. The build hasn't been that great for any of that stuff. So like I say, it should have been the triple threat for night 2, and then this match for night 1 main event.
Or this could have been the opening for the fucking
Yeah.
show. Open with this bullshit.
All right, so that's our look at WrestleMania amongst the 2 nights of WrestleMania. Saturday afternoon, we've got NXT Stand and Deliver. We won't do picks for this. We'll just run through the card here real quick. NXT really puts on a great show, especially with the talent they've got down there now. We've got a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match to determine the number 1 contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. So the winners of this matchup will go on to take on the winners of Liv and Raquel and Bailey and Lyra. So you've got Metaphor, which is Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson, Fallon Henley and JC Jane of Fatal Influence, Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, and Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. So the winner of that match will be number 1 contenders for the women's tag titles. You've got a ladder match for the NXT Women's North American Championship with Zarya, Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka, Izzy Dame, Lola Vice, and Thea Hale. This is going to be a hell of a matchup. Just with some of the talent that's in here. Zarya, Sol Ruka, Lola Vice. Like, you expect some crazy shit, especially from like Sol Ruka. So, fatal 4-way for the NXT Women's Championship. Stephanie Vacker taking on Julia, or defends against Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker. I was just excited to see Jada Parker finally in the NXT Women's Championship picture. Jada Parker is awesome.
I don't think she's gonna win though. I think.
What's that?
I said I don't think she's gonna win.
No, I don't think so.
But it's nice to see her in the picture.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see Jordan Grace walk out. If not, Stephanie Vacker will retain.
Yeah.
We've got Nathan Frazier and Axiom, collectively known as Fraxium, taking on Hank and Tank for NXT Tag Team Championships. Fraxium defends the titles. Ricky Saints defends the North American Championship against Ethan Page. Nobody gave a shit about this when it happened in AEW, but now it happens under the WWE banner, and we're all about it. So,
I mean, it's what happens sometimes.
Just more eyes on NXT than there is on AEW. Then we've got a 6-man tag match with the D'Angelo family. Tony D'Angelo chanting Sax Lorenzo and Luca Crucifiano. I probably pronounced that wrong, but they're taking on Dark State, which is Dion Lennox, Cutler James, Saquon Sugas, and or Osiris Griffin. So it can be any one of those 4. Any 3 of those 4 are taking them on. And then a triple threat for the NXT Championship. Obafemi defends against Trick Williams and Javon Evans. So that is your
I think are they you think they're gonna get rid of not get rid of, but you think Obafemi is losing?
I don't know.
I think that's why they may have added Javon Evans, because I was like sitting there like thinking like, where did Javon Evans get out of this? And then I'm like, well, maybe that somebody's getting caught up after Mania, and this could be an opportunity for him to lose without losing.
Yeah, that could be a possibility too. But the only person I could see picking up the win on this would be Trick. But
that's what I'm saying, like Trick.
Yeah.
But you don't get a fall on Obafemi, right? He loses the title.
Yeah.
But instead of going back for his title, he decides to Go to the roster.
This is after this. I'm moving on up. I'd be surprised if Oba gets the call up before Trick does.
I
But then
mean,
again,
don't
I
get me
think they
wrong.
could do more with Oba.
I like Trick. I like Trick. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to throw shade at Trick, but if you need a guy, and it's been a while since we had a guy that was like a powerhouse that kind of ran through people like Goldberg. I
Yeah,
think you could do that with Obafemi. Like you start him out, get a good streak going of him just slaughtering people, and then kind of slowly but surely build him up into the main event. Maybe have him win that Intercontinental or U.S. title, and then kind of just slowly build him into the main event picture.
yeah. I can definitely see that. This just started. All right. Well, that just started. Okay. You also got a TNA Unbreakable, which is live tonight as well. So I think that just started not too long ago. Late night pay per view for TNA, but you can catch the replays on TNA Plus. So this one actually looks like pretty solid cards. You've got the 2 semifinal matches for the International Championship. Then you've got the final triple threat match. So 2 of these guys are going to wrestle twice. AJ Francis is already qualified for that, so he'll take on the winner of Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and Steve Macklin, which is one of the triple threat matches. And then whoever wins between Zachary Wentz, JDC, and Eric Young, they'll go on to that final triple threat match against AJ Francis to crown the new international champion. You've got a 6-man tag match with Mike Santana and the Hardys taking on Mustafa Ali and the Nemeth brothers. Joe Hendry and Masha Slamovich versus Frankie Kazarian and Tessa Blanchard in a mixed tag match. Mance Warner versus Sami Callihan in Barbed Wire Massacre. And then Moose takes on a to-be-announced opponent. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. If there's like a tournament or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Tommy Dreamer.
maybe, but there's nothing on here on Wikipedia about Moose issue. It's an open challenge. Okay, so Moose issued an open challenge for TNA Unbreakable.
Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it could be. I mean, they are in Vegas, so you could get a someone from NXT pop in there, or
WWE.
everybody else floating around. Yeah, that should be pretty good. But that looks like a pretty solid card. I'll probably watch that at some point this weekend. That free preview I've got for 30 days free of TNA Plus.
Oh, crap.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that's going to do it for instant replay for this week. So we're going to go ahead and kick it on over to the Elite Figure of the Week, which of course is brought to you by entertainmentearth.com. Use the code FTCollect and save yourself an additional 10% off all in-stock items. They're starting to restock more on Mattel stuff, so you can pick up some wrestling figures there with an additional 10% off. All right, and this week's Elite Figure of the Week is the Elite Series 113 Carlito. This is from his return. Kind of excited to get a new Carlito figure. This is the first Elite for Carlito. was when he was under contract with WWE. Before, all we got were a couple basics. Now, of course, when he was tagging with Primo. So, but yeah, pretty psyched for this. They actually made a special hand for him to hold his apple.
That's cool.
And of course, it's zip tied in the damn package.
Yeah, they're getting a little crazy with the zip ties.
Terrible. Terrible. It comes with 3 extra hands. 1 taped, 2 not taped. So pop that over there. That'll go into my bucket of hands. All right. Cool. The face is kind of meh. Like, I'm not too sold on that. Like, I think the
I don't
nose
know
is
if
too
that's
big.
yeah, it's not Carlito. I don't know who that is.
The nose
Like
just looks
wine.
weird. Like, it's too wide.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, looks
like,
more like a
if it
wine.
wasn't if it wasn't for the hair, like, you wouldn't know this was Carlito. Well, he's got the cool Carlito, Puerto Rican flag shirt. Standard ring gear. Shirt is Velcro on the back. Stripping Carlito. Boop. He's got the bad apple on the side. Got the Carlito on the other side. No.
Fits in the
He's
face.
got that.
People are not cool.
Got that hand. That specially molded hand that holds the apple. Which is pretty cool.
Does the apple have did they have like a separate apple with a bite out of it?
No.
Oh man, so they need it. So they missed. They should have had a bitten apple.
I would say that's a big miss there. They could have at least made a bite out of this apple, like on one side.
Yeah,
you could at least then we could flip it around in his hand, look like a bite or not a bite. So.
yeah.
But I'm cool with this. I like I like Carlito. Fan of Carlitos, obviously, or I wouldn't have got the figure. But I'm looking forward to his Target exclusive Legends figure that's coming out, which is debut Carlito when he won the U.S. title against Cena.
Okay.
So younger Carlito. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That one should come with like a second head with like a mouthful of apple.
Yeah. They could have did they did it with a couple other figures. Like they did the Goldberg Elite, and he came with like a puff of smoke that was coming out of his mouth for like when he, do the fireworks thing. And then they got Muda, Great Muda figure that's got the mist like being sprayed out of his mouth. Like I feel like they could have did that with him with like the apple. Made it look like chunk of apple coming out of his mouth. So.
Yeah, spitting in the face of people that are not cool.
Yep. That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. Carlito figure's pretty awesome. All right. So there's your elite figure of the week in Carlito. And let's hop over to the Fatal 4-Way.
Fatal 4-Way. All right.
I did this last week when we were supposed to record, and I forgot what it was, so it's going to be a surprise to me, too. I haven't looked at the slideshow since last week. That's what it is. We talked about this earlier. Wrestlemania matches. Which one's going? So you got Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. The ladder match, Hogan versus Rock. Savage versus Steamboat. And Lesnar versus Angle.
Yeah. So this is pretty tough. Like you actually did a pretty good job, man, of putting like a tough one together. There's one that's absolutely got to stay, and that's Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. Um, I think this is like my first time actually seeing a ladder match. Like I know there like were some in the past. Um,
Well, this was the
but
first WWF ladder match.
yeah. Uh,
And it's a
I
first
mean,
ladder match festival as well. So.
I may have seen one, and just didn't remember or something. But that was like my first time seeing a ladder match. Uh, I was a fan of both wrestlers at the time.
Yeah.
So it was something cool. I was 1 years old uh, when the Macho Man Ricky Steamboat match happened. Um, I probably did watch it live though. My parents were into wrestling, and uh, a lot of my family was around this time too. So if there was a pay-per-view going on, it was probably on somewhere. Uh, but I did used to rent. Was that WrestleMania 3?
Savage and Steamboat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or two, like 3 or 2. But I used to go to Blockbuster and pick a flick and go to the wrestling section. And I always used to get the old WrestleMania VHSs and watch them. And that was a really good match. Some people argued it's like one of the best matches of all time as far as like classic wrestling match.
That's
And
my argument. So,
yeah, uh, and I mean I would agree. Macho Man uh, and Ricky Steamboat both incredible in the ring. Uh, had incredible I'm a fan of Ric Flair. Both of them kind of had good matches with Ric Flair. Um, Macho Man had good matches with Hogan, good matches with Warrior, good matches with uh, Jake the Snake, uh, Tino Santana. I mean, it is it is what it is. So I definitely will keep that. So I'm keeping those two. So then it boils down to Hogan versus Rock and Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. And Rock and Hogan, it's probably not like what you think of. It's not Savage Steamboat. You know what I mean? Like
no.
it wasn't a wrestling clinic by no means, but it was more of like theater. Um, and you kind of saw two guys kind of, in their craft, uh, saw that the crowd went one way, so they decided to switch up what they were doing kind of midway through the match. Or no, I won't say it was midway, it's probably like towards the beginning. They kind of went from, had a heel face switch basically in the middle of a match,
Yeah.
which, doesn't really happen a lot. Um, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle was like an athletic clinic. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of like what you want in a match, uh, especially like a WrestleMania match. This was the height of uh, Brock Lesnar, right? Uh, when he first came in, he was like the next big thing. Um, and Kurt Angle is Kurt Angle. Uh, this is tough, dude. Why do you make me do stuff like this, Chris? What's your pick?
Uh, mine. Oh, I picked these four for a reason because I know they're like regarded as some of the better WrestleMania matches. I
Hmm.
don't remember where Angle and Brock fell on that top 50 list, but like to me it was a great matchup, and it was one of my favorite matches. Steamboat
Yeah.
and Flair, or Steamboat and Savage is like my all-time favorite WrestleMania match. Like that's like the number one match for me for Mania.
Yeah.
With me being such the big Savage fan that I am, and I love Steamboat, and just the way that these two worked together was just absolutely amazing. Same thing with Michaels and Razor. Like that ladder match was phenomenal. And then like Hogan and Rock, like it's like you said, it's not like the most athletic match out there. It's not like a wrestling clinic, but it is an iconic match for the
Yeah.
sole reason that it's not just you had them like they switch roles halfway through the matchup. It's the first time Hogan has wrestled since WrestleMania 6 in the WWE ring. The first time he stepped foot in Toronto since WrestleMania 6 to wrestle. And at this time The Rock's at like the height of his popularity. And
Yeah.
it's like one of those things. It truly was an electrifying moment, an electrifying match in WrestleMania history. But if I had to get rid of one, I'd probably pull Brock and Angle.
And not just to try to copy off what you're saying, I think I might copy you and and do that. Just because you can't, because like with um the Rock Hogan, you kind of had two guys that were icons of their generations.
Yep.
Uh, and there's that generation missing between them. You know what I mean? Like you don't have like the Shawn Michael, like you know what I mean? Like there's an era missing in between them, and I think just it kind of embodies what you think about. Because with some of the WrestleMania, it is about the pageantry, uh, and not necessarily the wrestling clinic. It's about the storylines. So yeah, I'm gonna go Rock Hogan staying. So I'm gonna get rid of Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle, even though it was really good.
All right. Yeah, it was just like because Angle and Brock, like I said, it was a really good match. The biggest thing that I remember from that match is Brock doing the shooting star press
Yeah,
and completely missing and landing on his face. Um, but like I remember, I hear the stories from that. And they're like, they hit it like numerous times during run throughs and stuff like that. Brock's able to do it. He's done it numerous times before. It's just Angle was just a little too far away from his position. And I think if Brock would have hit that, it would have been that much better. But I mean, that's not like
yeah,
the downfall of that matchup at all. Like that, it would have been just like the cherry on the top for that match. But
yeah.
as far as being like iconic or one of the best matches of all time, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not up there with the other three.
You would have made it a little tougher if you would have picked like Austin Brett
Almost put that one in there.
or Austin Rock or something like that.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, that's the fatal four way. Oh, I clicked the slide too soon. Oh, there's music. There's music. No Holds Barred, which of course is brought to you by our Redbubble store. Make sure you check out redbubble.com/people/WrestleGettingPod and buy some stuff. Maybe, just maybe, there's a I'll shop 40% off. Shop bundles. No, that's lame. Maybe I need to make some bundles. Anything on sale? Nope. No sale. Okay.
No, so damn it.
Damn it. All right. Well, went to saw the Minecraft movie a couple
What's
weeks
up?
last weekend. Was it last week? Yeah, it was. No, the weekend before.
We can,
So
yeah,
yeah,
because you told me he's going on
yeah, because we're
Saturday
gonna
last.
record Friday. But yeah. So saw the
Yeah.
Minecraft movie. It wasn't bad. It was better than I was anticipating it to be. A lot of adult humor. Um,
Was there any
so it's
rowdy
pretty good.
teenagers in your theater?
No, luckily we saw it before all the TikTok trend
TikTok.
took off with the chicken jockey. So
Yeah.
there wasn't like a crap ton of people in the theater, but there's like enough in there. But yeah, it was pretty good. They left it open for a sequel. So,
Yeah.
so
I mean, it's a
it's good.
video game, so technically, guess you
Yeah,
could
no.
do it with all new characters.
Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Kids liked it.
that's good.
So I like
That's
Jack
good too.
Black anyway. Jason Momoa, so
Yeah,
quite entertaining.
yeah,
So I had all
yeah.
that.
I watched the Complete Unknown on Hulu uh, that weekend, and
Nice.
it was interesting. Uh, I thought it was weird, me being young and not knowing, but apparently, like, you remember like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
How do you feel? So I didn't know this, but there's a lot of people that thought Bob Dylan was like a sellout and they're pissed because he was playing electric guitar and because he was like a folk music icon or whatever. And
Wow.
it was kind of interesting. I'm like, I thought I thought like a Rolling Stone was folk music still, even though it's played on the electric guitar. Like I never associated it with like uh, pop music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny. Bob Dylan's a sellout.
So it was like, yeah, that was pretty interesting. It was an interesting movie.
That's cool. Trying to think what else. If there's anything else to watch recently that was pretty good. Um,
I got the NFL draft coming up, but I don't want to watch it because my team's gonna fuck it up. We get the first overall pick. We're picking the quarterback that ain't that good.
oh, what'd you think about the space shuttle launch thing with Katy Perry and all? So now they're astronauts
They're
because they
not.
were in space for 15 minutes. They're astronauts.
Yeah, they're not astronauts because like I give them this. Like if they would have actually like drove the spacecraft, you know what I mean? Like if they had some sort of like pilot training, or if they're some sort of engineer or something like that, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's a difference between being an astronaut and like training to go to space and flying a rocket or a ship or a jet or a shuttle or whatever, you know. Uh, I think at one point we tried to go up in a balloon. It's like, uh, there's a difference. So, you know what I mean? Like, you, got a ride from some rich guy. So,
Yeah.
you know, but I mean,
There's
I guess it's like the future of space travel, anyways, is, you know, people are looking at a way to uh, market it.
the spaceship was owned by, was it Jeffrey Bezos?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. So his wife was
Yeah.
one of them. It was Gail, who was like Oprah's, or Gail King. Wasn't she like Oprah's producer or something? I
Yeah,
don't know.
she was like her friend. I think they did like the book club and stuff together. But she's on, I think, like NBC or something, like on morning news thing or something.
Gotcha. The best part about this is the rocket. Oh man, I don't know why it just cracked me up. So you sent a bunch of women to space on a rocket that looks like a giant dong.
All right,
So
or a wand.
yeah, it's a giant sex toy. That's what it is. It reminds me of that Austin Powers skit where it's like, that looks like a giant wang. Pay attention. Oh my god! So that was like my biggest takeaway from this. Oh, they got sent up in a giant spaceship that looked like, or a spaceship that looked like a giant wang.
Yeah, I mean it'd been pretty cool. I mean, I'm kind of jealous. Like, I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind going to space, but
they pay like 1.6 million or something like that, the minimum to go up in that spaceship. No.
yeah, like I said, I think they're at some point we're probably going to end up getting kind of commercial flights to space.
Yeah.
For the rich, ultra
Once we
rich.
once they colonize the moon or something.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to colonize the moon, but
Yeah, probably not.
I think the biggest thing is people want to be able to mine asteroids, and
Yeah.
that's
All I know is I've seen all the alien movies and I'm not going in space on like a space colony thing. I'm not trying to
afraid.
get, stuck to a wall and impregnated by some alien thing that's going to burst out my chest.
Oh, come on, Chris.
Uh,
You're gonna be more like the redneck guy on Independence Day. I told y'all this records are real.
Is it Randy Quaid? Oh man, that's awesome. They dropped some new footage for Fantastic Four, the new trailer for that. They showed off the Silver Surfer, and people are pissed because it's the female version of the Silver Surfer and not the original Silver Surfer.
People
So
are always pissed about something.
yeah, never fails. Like, because like we've had a female Silver Surfer in the comics, so I mean, like it doesn't matter. It happened in the comics. So stupid ass people. That Sinners movie comes out this weekend.
Yeah, that was like when I was watching the that WrestleMania countdown thing. A lot of the episodes were like sponsored by Sinners. I'm like,
Yeah.
why the fuck are they advertising a movie that's like coming out basically like the same time the pay per view is? Like, be going head to head with your pay per view. Like, go see Sinners in theaters, but it's
And
like
then come home and watch
just don't do
WrestleMania.
just don't do it WrestleMania night. Go for the matinee.
I haven't heard of this one.
What is it?
It's called Freaky Tales.
Oh,
Yeah, that
really?
Sinners movie, like I looked it up. I don't know because you're talking about it like a few weeks ago. So I tried to look it up, and I found the trailer for it, and it looked freaking
That's
awesome.
good. Yeah, it looks good.
Like a good like demon vampire type movie.
Has Michael Jordan in it.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Space Jam.
Omar Benson. Miller's in it. Looks good. Stoked for that. And that's pretty much it. So, other news, I scored myself a PlayStation 5 off the Facebook Marketplace for $250. So,
That's not bad.
Deal. 2 controllers. So I was like, that's a solid deal. I'll take it. So disc version. So it's got a disc drive on there. It's only like all the hard drives like 800 gigabytes. So it's kind of the same as my PS4. But
yeah.
I was like, that's cool. So pretty stoked for that. Downloaded 2K25 onto the PS5 and playing that. Check out the island feature. That was only on the next gen consoles. It's not bad. It's got different like quests and stuff like that you can do on there. Like one of them, I just had to fight Austin Theory for a broken vase, which ended up being the Undertaker's urn that he stole off of the WWE archives. That had to collect pieces for it, and now I'm had to wrestle 2 different versions of the Undertaker, and now I have to wrestle Shawn Michaels to earn the right to wrestle the final version of the Undertaker.
Okay.
It's like, okay, that's cool. So, that's not too bad. I can tell the difference. Graphics difference is like pretty
Way different.
noticeable, yeah, from the PS4 to the PS5. So even like the underground matches, PS4, there's nobody outside the ring. PS5, that actually gives you the people outside the ring on that one.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So nice little upgrade. So one of those things, just happened to come across it, and that is the rest of my gifts for the rest of the year. So Father's Day, Christmas, birthday next year. That's cool. I'm just waiting for Garrett to get the game so I can kick his ass in GM mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I don't think I've got much. I don't really have anything else for this week.
Yeah, that's about it for me too. I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, cool. Let's we'll wrap it up here then. Get that lights coming on. Wrap it up. I'll wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. That'll do it for us for this week. Thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you come back next week. See how well we did in our WrestleMania predictions. We'll be back with you Friday night, a regular night, 9 p.m., 9-ish. Sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's a little after. But check us out, youtube.com/forthecollection, facebook.com/WrestleGettingPod with 1D. Just hit the link in the bio of any of our social media pages, and it'll take you right to those. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow, all that fun stuff. Check us out on TikTok. Help us get up to 1,000 followers on TikTok, and then we can start live streaming simultaneously with our episodes on YouTube and Facebook, onto TikTok. That'll give us another avenue to reach you guys too. So do that for us. Be a huge help. Apple Podcasts, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on there. And if you leave comments on the reviews, we'll read them on the air. Good, negative, doesn't matter. We'll read them. You're not going to offend us. I mean, we have people tell us we suck all the time, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But on that note,
We have
yeah. On that note, I'm Chris Heat Matthews. He's the Tennessee Jesus Carl Cross, and this is episode 280 of the Wrestlegetting Podcast, and we'll chat with you all next week. Later, Marks.